All right, so we're back. Now we are doing the unboxing of Cindy Moon's Silk. I'm actually excited about this one. This is gonna be fun. So Cindy Moon. It's been a while since we've seen another Web Warrior. Fun fact about Cindy Moon: her favorite sport is hockey, and she was also bitten by the same radioactive spider as Peter Parker. And they are very, very friendly with each other because of that. You keep it PG. She actually can produce her own organic webbing. I can't figure out the cellophane. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the cover art. Very nice. This looks the same. Like it. And we get our little traded sign here, and then she comes in protection. Another reason why I'd be excited because that's my favorite aspect. This is such a great day. I'm so excited about this. Another Web Warrior and protection cards. You shouldn't have. All right. Let's take a look at it. We have Cindy Moon. She's a genius also. Recovery 3. If there are more than 4 tucked cards here, discard all but 4 of those cards. Action, discard a card. Action, discard a card tucked here. Draw 2 cards. That's pretty cool. So as she's collecting cards underneath it, she can use that to get as a resource to draw more cards. I like that. Hand size is 6. Hit points are 10. We flip over to the hero side of Silk. She's stat lined at 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. She is a web warrior. Love to see it. Same effect on her alter ego. If there are more than 4 tucked cards here, discard all but 4 of those cards. She has her Silk Sense. Why is it called Silk Sense? Because her Silk Sense is actually a little more superior than Peter Parker's Spider Sense. She's actually faster and than him. It's funny, but not physically stronger. After you defeat a minion or side scheme or resolve a treachery card, tuck that card under here from the encounter discard pile. Take these all out and make it a lot easier. My kitty sense is tingling. I see a cat lurking, so come over here. All right. We have 2 event cards, 0 cost. Smooth as silk. Hero action, choose an enemy or scheme in play. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a card from the same encounter set as the chosen card is discarded. Then tuck that discarded card under Silk. So it's basically a way to tuck that, if I understand that correctly. So you're choosing an enemy or a scheme in play. Well, you can't choose the enemy or the villain, right? You can only choose. Oh, okay, I get it. So you're choosing an enemy, it could be villain or minion. Then, as you're discarding the cards from the top of the encounter deck, you keep going until the card matches from that encounter set that they're part of, and then you take it and then tuck the discarded card under Silk. Okay, so it's like a way to get tuck cards. Got it. Hey, we got 3 copies of Swinging Silk Kick. Not like Web Kick or Swinging Web Pig. So it's 3 cost. Aerial traded. Superpower. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. And then you may discard a card tucked under Silk from the same encounter set as that enemy. If you do, this attack deals 2 additional damage and gains overkill. So basically, when you're doing the move, if that target, if you have one of the top cards underneath you, you can choose to discard that matches their encounter set and do an additional 2 damage. Sounds good. Oh, I almost sleeved all 3 in the same. What am I doing? I guess I'm too excited right now that I don't know how to contain myself. All right, so we got. Oh my goodness, that was scary. 2 copies of Webcrawl. 1 cost, superpower traded. So hero action, thwart, remove 2 threat from a scheme, choose a scheme, you may discard a card tucked under Silk from the same encounter set, do an additional 3 threat from it. So what it sounds like is you really want to get a mixture, so you can only have 4 cards underneath you, right? So I think what you probably want to do is you want to make sure that you have a good kind of bent that a little bit. You kind of want to basically have a good ratio of, cards from certain, encounter sets. So you can get away with doing those, cheeky things. She comes with her own player side scheme. Haven't seen a player side scheme since Jubilee. It's 0 cost, so it's free. Alter ego action, exhaust your identity, remove 2 threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. When defeated, the Cindy Moon player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and tucks one of those cards under the identity. So that's it. So are you allowed to thwart this? So if you're not an alter ego, or do you have to be an alter ego to do that? It sounds like you have to be an alter ego, just like Jubilees. But I think Jubilees actually specifically said. Of course, I don't have it with me, but I gotta look that up now. Because I'd be. Where is. Yeah, that's right. I take a moment because I have ADHD. So, where is it? Okay, yeah. So it's actually different from. Yeah, it's different from Shopping Spree because on Shopping Spree it specifically states threat cannot be removed from the scheme by heroes or allies. So you can thwart this down with if you're on hero. So that's cool. Cool with me. All right, so we have Albert Moon. That's Sydney's brother. And let's see. He's got an alter ego action. Exhaust Albert Moon. Choose to tuck the top card of the encounter deck under Sydney Moon, or heal 1 damage from Sydney Moon for each card tucked under her. And we got Jonah Jameson. 3-cost support, alter ego action. Exhaust this card, search your deck and discard pile for get the scoop and put it into play. Action, exhaust this card, remove 2 threat from a side scheme. Eidetic Memory. When you reveal a card from the same encounter set as a card tucked under your identity, exhaust Eidetic Memory, swap those cards, reveal the card that has been tucked away under Silk instead. Another way you can swap things out if there's like a certain card that you're hunting before, it sounds like. So you get to swap it out, and then it will... you'll have to reveal it instead. She has a upgrade Organic Webbing, gets +1 thwarts. You can exhaust Organic Webbing and discard a card tucked under Silk and ready her. That's cool. And then she gains the aerial trait until the end of the round. Alright, we have another upgrade, 2-cost Outwit. When Silk, it's a hero interrupt. When Silk makes a basic thwart, exhaust Outwit for this thwart, and she gets +1 thwart. And then for each card tucked under her from the same encounter set as the thwart scheme. So she gets +1 for anything that's part of the same modular or encounter set. We got some Spider Claws. Hero interrupts. When Silk makes a basic attack, exhaust Spider Claws for this attack to get +1 attack. And then for each card tucked under her from the same encounter set as that enemy, this attack gains piercing. So the attack, exhaust, and then for each tuck card that is the same as the enemy that you're attacking, you get additional attack points, and you get piercing. So just like the counter to the Organic Webbing, except this is for attack and that was for thwarting. And then, whoa, dropped it again. Spider Reflexes. It's a superpower, 2-cost upgrade. Hero interrupt. When Silk defends exhaust Spider Reflexes for this attack. She gets +1 defense for each card tucked under her from the same encounter set as the attacking enemy. After this attack, tuck the top card of the encounter discard pile under Silk. And those are her kit cards. Exciting. It's gonna be silky smooth. All right, let's look at our pre-con deck in general. Oh, look, they're protection cards. Again, I'm excited about that. Yes, Ben Riley. Why is he not a hero pack? I like this version of Spider-Man. It's one of my favorites when I was a kid. It just, I don't know, something about the blue hoodie. It just spoke to me. It's just like, how grungy can you get? I love it. The 90s ain't over yet. So he's a 3-cost protection, thwart. 2 consequential for thwarting or attacking, but he's got 5 health. So interrupt. When another Web Warrior character would take any amount of damage, Scarlet Spider-Man takes that damage instead. So he's pretty much your wall. Interesting, though, because you also could probably pair this well with Spider UK. Because I'm pretty sure with Spider UK, just want to look something up here. Yeah, so if you if you defended with Spider UK, right? He has an interrupt where he's going to attack, the enemy and deal damage to the, whatever the amount of Web Warriors that you have. So say if that enemy does survive the attack, you got to do a nice chunk of damage, And then instead of him taking damage, because he's defending, you could actually just put the damage on Benny. It's like there's so many different ways you could go with this. How cool how cool that would be. I feel like it's gonna be my new favorite protection card next to Rogue. We got Spider Bite. Toothwort, 3 cost ally. Toothwort, 1 attack. Reduce the cost to play Spider Bite by 1 tech card you control. Wow. So a lot of tech cards, especially in the also out of Shuri's kit. I mean, I don't know if anyone's like picked up on this, but looks like Iron Man just got an upgrade because you put a lot of tech cards in Iron Man. You could definitely, I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the energy to trade it, but you don't have to go for that repulsor thing. But you could easily put him in for free. Like if you have like 3 tech cards out, he's free. He's a free 2 thwart. And you could also use him as a resource to feed the his boots. But if you're playing with ingenuity, you wouldn't have to really worry about that. Looks like we got 3 new reprints, and I actually really like the artwork on these. So these definitely just are going to be used more than the other ones. But I like the artwork on that. So 1 cost event, Hero Interrupt. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for the attack, and then if you take no damage from the attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. All right. 3 copies on attack event. Stop hitting yourself. After you defend against an enemy attack and take no damage, deal damage to that enemy equal to your defense for that attack. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, so we have a support card, 2 costs, Dr. Sinclair. So I don't even know about this, but Cindy needed to get a therapist after she got out of the bunker because the whole backstory on her was when she got trained by Ezekiel and to basically not trying to ruin the foreshadowing on it because I'm sure it's going to be in this deck. But she had to go into hiding because of bad stuff. And basically, when the bad stuff went away, Spider-Man Peter Parker came and set her free. But she was locked in a bunker for 10 years. So she's got some issues she's got trying to work out. So she talks to Dr. Sinclair. This is a 2-cost support. Alter ego action. You exhaust Dr. Sinclair. Spend a mental resource. Heal damage from your alter ego equal to your recovery. And then you may discard 1 status card from your identity. And player may trigger this. So what's funny is so equal to your recovery. So it doesn't specifically state that it's 3 printed recovery. So fun thing that we could probably do here is I don't know if everyone remembers the card downtime. If we like slip a downtime in this, you could just easily flip down to alter ego, pay the mental resource, recover up to 5, and then you can discard 1 status card from your. That's basically a nice beefed up version, I'm going to say, of the Night Nurse. Except there's, the steps that you need to. I dropped my sleeve. All right. All right. So 3 copies of Energy Shield. Attached to a character, meaning typically you probably want to have these stacked in here if you're playing a solo game, right? That's not going to matter. They're 0 cost, and you could put one on your hero, you could put one on your ally, you could put one on the villain if you so choose. So basically, it's an interrupt. When attached, character would take any amount of damage. So it can be from attack, it could be from consequential damage, it could be from indirect damage, whatever damage, wherever the damages come from. You can spend X resources of energy to prevent that damage. I know this is a silk unboxing, but again, going back to what I've been talking a lot of Iron Man. This would be such a perfect Iron Man card, because one, it's free, it's 0 cost, right? So even if you just threw it on himself, he threw it on an ally, or if you threw it on like your enemy, even if you don't want to you don't have to trigger it, but you could just to get it on the table. That's gonna count towards his tech requirement to get things out. And it's energy resource, so if you're trying to go gung ho with his repulsor blast, it's energy, and he loves energy. All right, and now we have 3 copies of an upgrade. Ready for a fight. Requirement: you have to play a physical resource to get it on the table, and then interrupt when an enemy would scheme. Discard, ready for a fight, change to hero form. That enemy attacks you and oh my goodness, Raid. Hey, how's it going? Oh my god, a cat. Ah! I got attacked. Shadow of the Kitty. How's it going? You leaving, Kitty? Come on, we're trying to do silk. Be free. So when enemy would scheme. So, alright, so this is actually gonna be a perfect alter ego card. This is actually something protection has been needing for a while. When an enemy would scheme, discard ready for a fight, changing hero form. Let's go. Never have to play another aspect again. Protection has everything. Yeah, she likes to she has her moments. She usually likes to pick and choose. So I always call her the Shadow of the Kitty whenever that's the encounter set that happens. Sometimes if I walk away, she gets the shovel. She shovels the whole table. It's very convenient ish. How's your day going? Oh, coming again. You're gonna knock over Ash. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, there it is. It can't go in the box. Sometimes she's just very attention starved sometimes. Thank you for licking my thumb. I appreciate it. Are you are you are you just doing that because the cards came in today? Is that why you're doing it? How do you know? Be free. There's a whole couch over there for you. All right. What was I doing again? Oh yeah. How's everyone doing today? Ooh, okay, cool. So another tech card and weapon card. 2 cost upgrade, energy resourced, stun gun. Hero action, exhaust it, remove 1 or 2 charge counters from it. So if you remove 1, you can stun a minion. If you remove 2, stun the villain. That's fair. Um, again, back to what I was saying with the whole. This is gonna be great for Iron Man because it's a tech. Loves tech. We're playing the game. All right, I'm gonna put you down, and then you're gonna run around. Okay. All right. Or play the doggy. So yeah. It's gonna be tech. It's also a weapon traded. It's also energy resourced. So, I mean, in all general too, it's gonna be great for protection decks because you're gonna have a way to give yourself some breathing room if you need it. But mindset here with Tony, it's gonna be a great pairing having stun gun and then having energy shield free. You're gonna be able to get your techs up a lot quicker. And with it being energy traded, it's definitely gonna be nice for his repulsor blast. And that is everything from the aspects part of it. We're going to go into some allies. We have Madam Web, 3 cost. 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health. Traded Web Warrior. Response after Madam Web enters play, look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of Web Warrior cards you control. You may discard one card looked this way, and then put the rest back in order. That's a very, very cool, powerful ability. And it's gonna get more sillier when you have Web Warriors on the table. But even if you just have her in a different type of deck, she once she hits the table, she's Web Warrior, so you can at least do 1. So you could just discard the top card basically if you're just doing it that way. We now have another version, a reprinted of Spider-Man Peter Parker. 3 cost, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 health. Requirement: energy, mental, physical resource needs to be played to play him. There's other ways to getting him into play other than doing that, but he has a response that after he attacks or thwarts, he can choose another Web Warrior character and ready that character. Well, the nice thing too with that is, I mean, just by if you needed a target for your energy shield, there you go. Because you can just prevent the consequential damage as long as you have the energy resources to do that. And just bear with me because I'm just trying to get these sleeves so I don't have to, so I can just get into playing games after this. All right, and then we have a reprinted Across the Spider-Verse. Max 1 per deck, 2 cost event. Exhaust a Web Warrior card you control. Search your discard pile for a Web Warrior ally. Put it into play. Then choose a player. That player may spend 3 resources of any type to repeat the ability. So there you go. If you're trying to get away of just getting him in for free, you could just play Across the Spider-Verse. As long as he's in there and your discard pile, then you can just bring him out without having to even pay 3 cards. All right, and then we have Investigative Journalism, Team Up, Cindy Moon, Peter Parker. Alter Ego, Interrupt. When an enemy would scheme, cancel the activation and confuse the enemy. So if you have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Silk, Cindy Moon on the table, you play this, it'll work. And I'm surprised they didn't give 2 copies of that, in case you were playing regular Spider-Man. Because you have the Silk Protection ally. And then we have 3 copies. Again, your typical energy, genius, strength artwork from the Agents of Shield, which is I like the artwork on that. I think I think out of everything, I think I wasn't too I didn't really care much for the mutant printed artwork. I don't know. I like the original from the core with Hulk, Thor, and Doctor Strange, and then these ones are pretty cool looking too. I don't know. Maybe it's just because these are a little more brighter looking compared to the mutant ones. All right, cool. So I have an empty box, and I can use that to finish that up. All right, let's get into her obligation. Silk Sense Overload. Give to the Cindy Moon player. Force Interrupt. When a card would be tucked under your identity by a player card effect, tuck it under here instead. Then, if there are 2 tucked cards here, you may discard this card and remove it from the game. Instead, if there are 3 or more tucked cards here. Oh, so if there's 2 tucked cards here, you discard it. And then if you have 3 or more, you can just remove it. All right. And then to her nemesis, which I was kind of foreshadowing, but yeah. Morlun, I should say. I think that's how you say it. Morlun. So he's a big bad. 5 health, 1 scheme, 1 attack. He gets +1 scheme attack for each encounter card tucked under each identity. And then when defeated, discard each copy of Hunting the Spider Bride tucked under each identity. So he was the one that Cindy was actually hiding from for 10 years in the bunker. He traveled. He's basically a vampire. He goes around hunting down spider totems, and they like to eat the spider totems because they're tastier. So, um, little snippet of backstory on that. But yeah, that's who she was hiding from. And then after Spider-Man, Peter Parker killed him, he went and basically set Cindy free from the bunker, and then that's kind of where it goes from there. So this is his side scheme. The Great Hunt. When revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each card tucked under each identity. And it has a hazard icon. And then we have 3 copies of Hunting the Spider Bride. Surge. When revealed, if you have 4 cards tucked under your identity, discard one of those cards at random. Tuck this card under your identity. Force response. After a player card effect discards this card from under an identity, that player takes 2 damage. And that will complete Silk's Precon. So now, let's go look at the cards that came with it. So we get Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, 4 cost leadership ally, 2 thwart to attack, 3 health. Response after Spider-Man 2099 uses a basic power, return a Web Warrior ally and play to his owner's hand. That is pretty sweet. And he's Aerial and Web Warrior traded. We get an aggression ally, Shield Web Warrior, 3 cost Spider Woman, Jessica Drew. 2 attack, 1 thwart. 3 health. Response after Web Warrior ally, including this one, enters play, deal 1 damage to an enemy. That's amazing. That could be a lot of fun. I think that's the first aggression Web Warrior. I think. Pretty sure. We have 3 copies of an event. Quip. Requirement, mental resource. Has to be played to do this. And then deal 1 damage to a Web Warrior character you control. place a total of 2 confused status tokens on up to 2 enemies. Oh, I guess there you go. There's your extra copy of that to put into a Spider-Man deck. And then we got our another Thunderbolt to join our little collection, Atlas. 0 scheme, 3 attack, 18 health. He has Villainous. Atlas gets +2 hit points for each growth counter on him. Force response after the villain phase ends, place 1 growth counter on Atlas. So it sounds like he gets stronger every time the turn goes. Grow and Invulnerable. When revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each growth counter on Atlas. If Atlas has 10 or more growth counters on him, the players lose the game. I guess that's fair. I mean, if he's gaining so much power every turn. We have 2 treachery cards. Growing Strong. When revealed, find Atlas and reveal him. If he's already in play, he engages you. Atlas activates against you. If no enemy activated this way, this card gains Surge. And then he has a boost effect. Give the activating enemy a tough status card. And then he has another 2 treachery cards, Titanic Proportions. When revealed, the players as a group take X indirect damage, where X is the number of growth counters on Atlas. If X is less than 3, this card gains Surge. And then he has a boost effect. If Atlas is in play, place 1 growth counter on him. He sounds terrible. Like, you gotta, like, nuke. He comes on a table, you need to, like, nuke him. Yeah. So that means. So if you're doing the Citizen V scenario, there is no that whole strategy of trying to keep him, just keep damage on him so he doesn't come back on the table. He sounds terribly hard. All right. And that is everything comes with the Silk Precon deck. All right. Well, I thank anyone who stopped by to check that out. I think now I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up in that, and now start playing some games on that. See you on that next one.